feel like overall, every motorcycle manufacturer kind of attracts a specific person to their bike, right? When you think of naked bikes, and when you think of specifically the Suzuki-made I think it's GSX series and the Gixxer series, you think of someone who's absolutely psychotic and doesn't have that much money, right? When you think of Yamaha, you're thinking of someone who wants the same kind of bike that like a Toyota rider would want. And when you think of Honda, when it comes to motorcycles, you're thinking of boring, basic, but reliable, and they're going to go everywhere, right? Kawasaki people are crazy. I love Kawi, right? A big thing, though, is when you think of Harley riders, 9 times out of 10, if you're below the age of 40, you're not necessarily thinking of something positive. And I feel like when you go to a Harley dealership and you get to experience the raw Harleyness of the Harley dealership for either A, the first time, or the second time, or like if you end up having to go frequently because you have a family member that owns the bike, you kind of get to really encounter why Harley isn't really popular amongst young people anymore.
Okay, now one big thing with okay, sorry about that. One big thing with Harley that I don't feel like the company itself recognizes the fact that Gen Z. I have a lot of buddies of mine that are really interested in the prospect of riding motorcycles or already have motorcycles. Every single one of them has something like a Honda Grom, some sort of naked bike, a dirt bike, a dual sport. None of them are looking for something like a cruiser. And if they are looking for something like a cruiser, they're looking for something older. I don't think anybody is willing to spend $20,000 on a brand new Harley. I don't even think it's just that. I think it's just the fact that a lot of Gen Z riders or a lot of Gen Z motorcycle, people in general, I think the big thing is they don't really have an interest in the culture that Harley Davidson as a company has been trying to show off since, its creation. I feel like a lot of people, if they're wanting a cruiser, they're going to go for something like Indian, or they're going to go for a Japanese bike. Again, I could be very different. I could be very incorrect. Harleys could be an extremely comfortable bike, and I wouldn't know about it at all. Hold on, let me check to make sure that my Xbox is still recording. Yeah, we good. I don't know why it said uploaded capture. I'm still trying to understand this thing a little bit. I didn't grow up with an Xbox One. I got one after senior year in high school, which was quite a bit ago, because now I'm fixing to be a junior in college. But back to the whole thing, I feel like Gen Z as a whole doesn't really but doesn't really care about the image that Harley's trying to represent. I mean, when I think of Harley, I'm thinking of your weird, either really old uncle or your kind of creepy grandpa that, they wear those type of sunglasses. They always are very, open about their political opinions. And that's coming from someone, I'm not really a political person. It's just, whether what side of the political spectrum they're on, whether it be right or left, they're always very vocal about it and very angry if you don't agree with them. Right? Because I've met Harley riders on both ends of the spectrum, which is honestly always a fun conversation for all the wrong reasons. It's just and most Harley riders aren't bad. It's just the image the bike company tries to express. It's a big reason why I feel like Harleys are not selling well with Gen Z riders. Me myself, when I really start riding, I'm going to want something, I'm going to be looking for something more of like a DRZ 400 or a DR 650, maybe even an adventure bike. I'm looking for something that can go anywhere, do anything, get decent gas mileage that I could drive to work, but doesn't make me look like a complete chud. I don't know how else to describe it, Harley for Generation X and, older millennials, I feel like is able to success, it makes sense why they like them. A lot of celebrities are showing up to photo shoots, showing up to events in Harleys. A lot of celebrities in movies are showing up to Harleys. By the way, I'm not fact checking any of this. I'm just kind of echoing a lot of what my parents have said about why they like Harleys. Like, my dad just got a Harley. I think it's an Ultra Glide, which is weird because I haven't had kids yet, and he's already had a Corvette. Now he has a Harley that he's currently speccing out to where he could ride it. My dad is 6'5", and I'm about 6'6". I'm 6'5.5". It's easier just to say 6'6". But and he's going through his whole old man phase. I'm gonna laugh when eventually I do have kids and he just says screw it and gets a fucking Mustang. That's gonna be funny. But I feel like as a whole, that generation of people, it makes a lot more sense why they really, a lot of them still really like Harleys. My generation of people, I see a lot of Harley riders as how the South Park guys see Harley riders. I don't really see them as, like, considerate. I see, and I've just encountered a lot of Harley riders that do stupid shit all the time. You rarely see a guy, you almost never see a guy on something like a Hayabusa who's not wearing.
It's not even just that. It's also kind of like the, for lack of better terms, like aura or like vibe that a lot of Harley riders try to give off. Why does everything need to have skulls? It doesn't even look good half of the time. Sometimes they'll put in a lot of effort to try to structure something to where it looks very aesthetically pleasing and the skulls look really nice. And then there's other times where they just do the skulls and it's like, oh, so you have one type, you have one kind of like gothic design skull on your saddlebag, right? And then you have a more punk, completely unrelated, not matching at all, different aesthetic, different styling, different color type of skull on your head. And then you have a completely different, like, it's just a lot of clashing designs that some of these Harley riders will do to try to, like, make themselves seem more edgy. And then it's like a guy in his 60s who has 3 grandkids, a wife of, like, 20 years. So not even 20 years, more like 20 to 40 years. And they're really nice grandpa, and then they're trying to make themselves seem like they're hardcore and they're intimidating. My favorite is I had a boss of mine who was, like, 5'6", who went around, he had, like, 6 Harleys. And he would ride around my little like kind of city, but I live in the suburbs. I'm a middle class kid from suburbia, Houston, Texas. That's where I've grown up, and that's where I was born and raised. I might be from Colorado, but this is my home, right? And I was working for this guy for a bit. And he used to just like, he would just ride around all over the place without a helmet on. And people drive like morons over here. If you live in this area of Texas, you know how stupid people can drive. Houston drivers are aggressive. Dallas drivers are fast. And Austin drivers are terrified, And then and the bike was like twice the size of him. Literally. Like, I'm not talking about Lee. Because he's got almost entirely like a collection of super glides, ultra glides, and then he has a trike that I've never seen this motherfucker drive. And it's the kind of like fake alternativeness, not like actual alternativeness, not like I skate, I listen to hard rock, I like stuff that's a little bit darker and cool. I enjoy horror movies kind of alternativeness. It's the, oh, the skull looks cool, so I'm gonna put it on my bike. It's the, oh, I want women to fear me and think I'm creepy kind of alternativeness that I think people in their 50s and 60s think it is. And forgive me, this obviously isn't, Harleys obviously aren't my forte. They're obviously not at all. Right, I'm a lot more of a dirt bike kind of guy and a street bike kind of guy. I want something fun. I don't, and I feel like that's kind of where Harley, like I said earlier in the video, Harley has fallen off because Gen Z doesn't see Harleys as fun. The only guy that I've met in my general age range, all right, and I'm 20, okay? I'm 21 actually. I'm 20, 21, that gray area, all right? The only guy that I've met in the general age range of me that really likes Harleys is extremely weird. This dude is like, so for reference, I'm 6'6", 220. I'm a pretty big guy, right? This guy must be like 5'8", 150, 110. Nah, he's about 5'10", 110. He's really skinny, he's really scrawny, and a lot of people think he's really weird. And I used to be good friends with him in high school, but he's just weird stuff, doing weird stuff. That is the only person I know who likes Harleys. Everybody else who I know who likes motorcycles is a lot more in the hyper bike and naked bike kind of scene. The amount of people that I've met that own either Gixxers or some kind of, it's boring, but some kind of Honda not cruiser, but like a Honda street bike or sports bike or even a naked bike. Or like a more, cafe racers are still a thing. A lot of people are still wanting cafe racers, not fucking Harleys. It's putting on and I guess I just disagree with what Harley kind of represents. It's putting on a facade to pretend like you're harder than you are. You work a $150,000 a year accounting job, and you're sitting there running around on your 30 grand motorcycle pretending that you're hardcore. It's like the guy that can't decide what football team he likes. Like, one year he's a massive Chiefs fan, and the next year he's a massive Eagles fan, and then the next year he's an absolutely gargantuan, like, huge Patriots fan. Or the guy in the NBA who jumps from whatever Eastern Conference team is doing the best. No offense, because one of my buddies is kind of like that, where he went from the Celtics to the Knicks, and I'm pretty sure he went from the Celtics to the Pacers to the Knicks. It's like, no offense, like, I'm from Denver, I gotta rep my shitty teams, right? But it's kind of I know, you just pick one, it's okay. And with Harley riders, it's just, you know, like how that's like a facade where it's like, okay, I want to keep up with whoever's good. I don't want to feel like, oh, well, my team sucks now, so I got to deal with my team sucking now. I want to continue and go on to whatever makes me feel good. So that's why they'll bounce from like a Corvette to a Harley to back to a Corvette and whatever looks cooler. I feel really passionate about this. I kind of grew up in what became a Harley household, you know? And it's sad to see, like, even my dad getting a Harley. Like, I love my father with all my heart. And I know why he got it. And I just, it kind of saddens me a little bit, you know? I feel like a lot of people see it in the same vein of getting a Corvette, where it's like, it just feels like you're getting old, and it's sad. Well, thank you very much for watching the video. I appreciate everybody that stays and listens to me bullshit and rant. It's always so much fun. This is my girlfriend's hoodie. I stole it from her. She took two of mine, so I'm like, fuck it. That one fits me. I sleep in this bitch. This is great. To anyone who sees this video and you're going into college, I'm a little biased. I'm not gonna lie. I am in a fraternity, but if you're going into college for your first time, I 100% suggest, hey, check out some sort of Greek life. Even if it doesn't necessarily fit in for you, just give it a chance. The biggest mistake that I did for my first semester of college was just ignoring it and pretending like I was too good for it. And, you know, going into it in the spring was a lot different of an experience, and I don't think I had as much fun as if I just did it in the fall. Thank you very much for watching the video, and remember, Rush Sigma Nu.